But let's quickly talk about Ange Postecoglou, because at the start of the season, he said, I always win titles in my second season. And it's kind of been proven in South Melbourne, Brisbane, Raw, Australia, Marinos and Celtic. He's always managed to win at least one title in his second year. And he could actually do that after tonight, because it's his second year here at Tottenham.
He always wins trophies in his second season up until now. That's absolutely spot on.
And Nigel, I feel like Ange Postecoglou is always one that we like to listen to in press conferences, because we never really know what he's going to say. What should we really make of what he said ahead of this final tonight?
Ange is very raw, authentic, and sometimes a bit too emotional. And I think with going to England, people don't realise what it's like when you manage certain clubs in England and the media and the press and what comes with it. I feel that the press have kind of got the better of him now. I don't think he expected the media to be so hard and put him under the microscope for so long in the season, and he's got to answer to certain things, and sometimes saying less is saying more. Sometimes you just don't have to answer the question, but he's just so authentic and true to who he is and his personality, and that's what's got him in trouble, and the media just keep on going and going. Someone has experienced that.
Win or lose, I'd be more surprised if he stays at Spurs than if he leaves Spurs at this point, right?
I think that, for me, I feel that he knows the writings on the wall. If you listen to his latest press conferences, I feel that he knows that his time at Tottenham is done, again, with what he said, and the reality of it is the performances haven't been good enough. Right. Domestically, they have not been good enough in the league, and there is a reason why they are where they are in the table in the Premier League. And also, I'll probably say that he has created a little friction between himself and the fan base.
That's
one thing that you can't do.
At the top of the list, I would think.
That is one thing you can never do as a Premier League manager, create that rift. If you are winning, you could create as much rift as you want because you're winning, they can't deny that. But when you're sitting just above the relegation zone and that rift was created, and the one game that stands out to my mind, I believe, was against Chelsea, with the substitution changes that he made and then copying his ear to the fans, and then obviously fans there. So I think that is the biggest problem for him, and that's the biggest thing that you'll have to struggle to win back the fans.
I think we saw the first schism between Ange and the fan base at the end of last season, when they had to beat Manchester City, and that would mean Arsenal would take the title. And Spurs fans, I think there was a contingent that would have rather lost that game, and that's when Ange's narrative started shifting a little bit against Spurs fans.
Yeah, they wanted,
and if there's anybody
they wanted to lose again.
They wanted to lose it
so that Arsenal don't win.
They wanted to lose that game, so Arsenal, correct.
Was,
You're right. Sorry, excuse me. That was a split, I think, the first initial one, and it's kind of only gotten worse. Then him doing that to the crowd on a goal that they got called back by VAR. It's just not a good look at this point.
But for right now, we're going to look ahead at what we think the projected lineups will be. Nigel, talk to us about this Manchester United team and who we can really trust in the goal scorers, in the goalkeeper. Talk to us about what we're seeing here.
Well, we talk about Onana, the goalkeeper. He's had a poor season for Manchester United standards. Confidence for me is still 50-50 with Onana. So you know that you might have opportunities if you're Tottenham, if you're taking long-range shots and just trying to make him uncomfortable. Defensively, this is what they're going to go with, and I don't believe that they've still got it right. You've got Euro, Maguire, who's had a resurgence really in what he's had to go and endure at Manchester United. Lindelof, still very questionable defensively. They will still concede goals, and they will still look all over the place. They still don't have that real solidarity, that they look like a solid defensive unit and system, and everyone knows what they're doing. I would say Casemiro is a player that people need to pay attention to. He really has come back strong. Dealt with a lot of criticism of not performing, not being able to get around. He's showing us signs of the old school Casemiro that we saw at Real Madrid with his performances. He has gone underneath the radar. I would say for me, Dalot is the one you got to keep an eye on. This is how we've got it set up here, but really and truly, Fernandes will be more tucked in, Dalot will be more tucked in, under Højlund. Outlet is Mazwari and Dorgu. They are the outlet. That is how Amorim likes to play. His outlets are the wide players to come in there, getting crosses in the box, opposite winger coming in, and at times what you will find is, because these guys will be tucked in, they'll be the ones that make these runs to stretch the pitch and create things for Manchester United.
Dalot's also been training with the team, so perhaps Mazraoui could play for Dorgu on the left, or That's just a nice little card that he has up his sleeve off the bench, Diogo Dalot.
Diogo Dalot definitely has come back as well, so maybe he might come in for Mazraoui. They've got options at Højlund, obviously being the focal point and the target of that team, but their strength definitely does comes from their wing-backs. This is what Amorim likes to play. It's the wingers, they're the outlet, they're the ones that will create things for Manchester United.
Nico, touching on this Tottenham team, when these two teams came up against each other last in the Premier League, Tottenham won 1-0. But how is this side different to what we were seeing in February?
Well, I think there's 6 players at least that aren't going to start in this final, and it's a lot due to injury, really. I mean, Denzel, Davies, Bergvall, Madison, Kulusevski, Tells, that's basically your entire team. You got Porro, you got Spence, you got Bentancur, and Son's back. But this is a wildly different team. For the longest time, I think the spine defensively was hurt. I mean, you talk about your center backs. You have Van de Ven and Romero back. They were either one was injured, the other one was injured. They haven't played together until maybe a month back consistently. So when you've got them in your team, it's a completely different look. It's a completely different feel. You can start taking the risks that Ange wants to take. And honestly, he's got nothing to lose at this point because win or lose, it definitely feels like he's out. So my feeling, my intuition tells me that he's going to want to go out swinging. You're thin in the midfield. Sarr is only just coming back, right? So I imagine maybe you don't have that many guys that you can fill in these spots. So if Sarr's out, who are you going to put there? Archie Gray, is Porro gonna pop into the midfield? I'm not sure at this point. But the 3 up top are the ones that I feel comfortable in. They're gonna have an incredible game from a work rate perspective.
Johnson and Son are the key weapons when it comes to Tottenham. They, for me, with the pace to get in behind and expose these areas that the wing-backs will leave for Manchester United, that's going to be key. They've got pace, they've got quality, they've got an eye for a goal and can make a pass. I think Son's a big bonus back. The one thing we haven't spoken about is what could be a big problem is set pieces. I think Manchester United are the better equipped side when it comes to set pieces to get wins in set pieces. And it's this guy here, Harry Maguire, could cause some serious problems if Manchester United have some real set pieces set where he can be the main guy. Because Tottenham are not great at defending set pieces. They haven't been. That can be a key area where Manchester United can look to exploit.
An exciting night happening in Bilbao because the Europa League Final will be taking place and you can watch it on Paramount Plus and starting at 2 p.m. and the kickoff is at 3 p.m. So the European trophy is up for grabs in the all-English final. Spurs have a chance to win their first European trophy since 1974, but Manchester United will look to win their second Europa League title of the last decade. Like I said, coverage begins on Paramount Plus at 2 p.m. Eastern with kickoff at 3 p.m.